points and sell yourself that you are valuable and you qualify for the scholarship. Yeah, just see yourself like a salesman who is trying to convince a customer that you are going to buy what I am selling. So first off, I'm not a first class student. I graduated with a 2.1, but a very strong CGPA. So during my introduction to the interviewers, I made sure I stated this while introducing myself. And then I went on to talk about my professional and technical expertise. Now, I understand that not everyone going for MSc might have professional experiences. So you might want to talk about your experience volunteering, your time as a leader during your undergraduate. This will help you show that you have some skills. And one thing I want you to understand is that your professional experiences so far, you should not treat them independently. Try to consolidate it and settle down, pick the vital points that are relevant to the course of study you are going for. For example, I wanted to do environmental engineering, right? And I had some experience that were not so relevant to environmental engineering. I did not present this. Rather, I filtered my professional career so far and picked those that were relevant and presented it to them. So my presentation was this way. I worked on XYZ project at this company, and during my time there, these were my impacts. And these are some of the transferable skills I believe qualifies me for this scholarship. Now, I want you to take some time to observe your interviewers. This is why I say so. The way you speak to a professor is different from how you speak to, let's say, a top executive from the oil and gas industry. You are going to be meeting high level professionals among the interviewer panel. So you want to be careful with your vocabulary. So this is where emotional intelligence comes in, because I tell you, the way you present yourself confidently can also help you get can help you be successful in the interview. I beg your pardon. So yeah, study your interviewers. They're going to introduce themselves and buttress your points critically. So yeah, I mentioned I worked at XYZ project, and guess what? One of the interviewer knew about the project. This is why you have to be very authentic and make sure that anything you are presenting to them is valid and true, because you are going to be tested rigorously to make sure you're not whitewashing them. So I talked about this project that had to do with environmental protection and all of that. So one of the interviewer knew about the project, even knew the project manager. So my interview digressed into a discussion about that project. Then I went to the second company and we talked about it. So see it like you are consolidating your experiences so far, and it's a conveyor belt. You are taking your interviewer to a destination. When you arrive at that destination, your interviewer should be able to understand why you want to do the master's program. How has your career path so far prepared you for the master's program you want to undertake, right? What is the motivation behind going for this program? Thirdly, why should they help you with this scholarship and how do you qualify for it? So now how you navigate these can either be smooth or bumpy. It all depends on how much practice you put into this. So be prepared, practice your points stated in your statement of purpose so you can present it confidently and smoothly to the interviewers. Um, After presenting my skills, I ended up by stating what motivates me. So I'm from the Niger Delta region. As we all know, that area has been subjected to lots of environmental degradation as it relates to oil spills and all of that. So normally you think when you present your motivation, they are just going to relax and nod their head. No, when I talked about, oh, this is what is motivating me to undertake MSc in Industrial Environmental Engineering, guess what? One of the interviewers was part of the people who wrote the Petroleum Industry Act. So he knew about host communities and the IOC's relationship and all of that. So I was rigorously screened on what I said and I was able to defend it. So be grounded on your motivation, be grounded on anything you state on your statement of purpose, because you are going to defend it and you will be questioned as well. Understand the statistics of where you are coming from, yeah, the policies around all of that, depending on what you want to study. So, lastly, they'll ask you, do you have any questions for us? I believe you should prepare one or two questions, because if you say you don't have any questions, it will look like you're being lackadaisical. So please prepare one or two questions for the interviewers, because you'll be asked on this. Lastly, I'll say prayer is very important as well. Prayer will make sure you are in the right room in front of interviewers who resonate with your story, right? And understand the value that you have. Because it's one thing for you to be an exceptional candidate, and it's another thing for you to be in front of people who recognize the value in you. Because you can be talking and the interviewer in front of you do not understand what you are saying. So prayer will make sure that you are in the right room at the right time. So yeah, this is my interview experience, and I wish you success. Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Miss Laju. And just to add to what you said, sharing my own experience also, I think I did mine in University of Ibadan. And fortunately for me, my MSc also was in the University of Ibadan. So the moment I mentioned University of Ibadan, one of the interviewer, who happens to be a lecturer at the University of Ibadan, started asking questions about my department. So it wasn't so much about the award or the scholarship at that point in time. It was more about, okay, who is this person? Do you know this person? And things like that. So I think that tries to buttress the fact that you shouldn't just limit yourself to the books. You should try as much as possible to go there with an open mind, because the questions can come from different angles as it were. So that's that. Thank you very much, Ms. Laju. Dr. Musa, are you there?
Yes, my prof.
All right.
Good
Okay.
evening
Yeah.
and
Please
good
share
afternoon,
your
I believe.
experience. Yeah.
Yes, good evening, dear colleagues, and should be afternoon, I guess, in Nigeria by now.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to share a PowerPoint.
Okay. Please do.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, I think it's coming up gradually.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Once again, good day to all of us. Thank you for this invitation. When I saw the invitation, it was a very tall order, and as you can see, I have some senior colleagues in the panel. But I would just try to share my experience within the limits. So I think Prof has mentioned my name. So I think one of the most important thing to do, I will mostly talk about the PhD experience. I won't talk about the masters because I haven't gone through that system, so I won't know much about it. So I think one thing you should need to understand is the core objectives of the PTDF. So why do you need to understand this? First, their aim is to develop indigenous human capacity for the petroleum industry. Now the question will be like, I studied geoscience or I studied civil engineering. Why petroleum? Or I studied um, mechanical or something. So you'll be thinking, oh, I studied economics. Why am I doing petroleum industry? So you just have to suit your own training to the industry. Don't let the industry to suit your own. What I mean by that is if you try to do what you don't know, you will end up blabbing at the interview. So you have to
Mhm.
use your own training to make your own proposals and things like that. So what do they do? So your funding has to be things that are relevant to the oil and gas. So for example, you studied economics. So your idea should be what are the challenges of the petroleum industry that you are resonating with you. Don't go and say, I'm going to do something maybe like that was my first error during my first invitation. So I just decided to do, I'm coming from the civil engineering background. So I decided I'm going to do drilling. So by the time I went to the interview, the panel is actually a very good one. They have people from several departments. So they were asking me questions that I couldn't answer. They were asking me porosity, this and that, whereas I don't know much about it in the oil and gas. So that was how I didn't end up getting the first, securing the first scholarship in the first interview. But luckily, I was able to do it in the second interview because I was able to do my own civil engineering. I now tailored it down to petroleum and gas. So what is the tip here? You have to align your study and career goals with the Nigerian energy sector, particularly the petroleum industry. You have to stick to your own degree. That's what I'm just going to advise you. So what do you need to do again? You have to know, I think my colleague Laju has already stated all of this. You have to know your application inside out. So let it be part of you. That is what she has been saying. Just practice and understand it so much so that it will be part of you. So read your personal statement, your CV. As you can see, why am I putting CV? Some sometimes you never can tell how the panel will go. Sometimes the conversation will go, maybe they've already seen your academics. They want to now see your personal relationship. So they might see how prepared are you. They are not actually after your CV. They know you are now going to seek for training. But if you bring it, you have your things arranged in files, maybe you have photocopies, your originals are there. It shows that you are really ready for this thing. And they will even feel bad that, oh, this person is actually very serious about this. Why do we have to stop him? But you just come with maybe one photocopy there, one original. They ask you for your work, you don't have it, so you will end up messing up. So always the tip here is be ready to discuss your undergraduate projects, any professional works, and anything like that. So another thing, this is something that was very peculiar to me, is the culture we share in Nigeria. That's of respect. So the things we go, sometimes we are feeling too confident. We just go to the panel and we just maybe sit down or something like that. It's going to mess up your opportunities. When I went there, they were discussing, I was just standing. So they were like, why are you standing? I said, okay, I'm waiting for your permission to sit down. Then the interview started on a very good note. But imagine you just saw some seats and maybe you feel like they're talking, okay, let me just sit down. So you are going to mess up. So they are just looking at you all rounded. They are not only looking at your submissions. So be careful with that. So these are some things that they asked me, maybe tell us about yourself, why this study and why did you choose this university? How do you contribute to Nigeria? What study plans? And how do you overcome your challenges? So if you look at all of these things, they are a little digressing from my application and the rest. So just be ready. So what is the tip here? I use this, it's called the STAR technique. So it's just for you to simulate a situation yourself, or you can even get somebody you trust to help you, just to use situation, task, action that you will do and result. So that way you would have a clear mind on unexpected questions. So that you don't just start blabbing and you go out of point. So what are the things you need to do? Another thing that I think happened to me was about the industry. They were asking me some random questions. What is happening in the oil and gas? What is this and that? So these are some companies you should know, like NNPC, NUPRC, Shell, Seplat, LNG. What are their acronyms? What do they even mean? So, and maybe a little of the PIA and things like that. This doesn't need to be deep. You just need to understand that, yes, you are aware of what you are applying for and what are the trends globally. So, globally trends, you have to tell them your proposal maybe in the form of maybe sustainability, local content, things like that. Things that will matter, not any kind of study that is not feasible, because they are going to fund you fully, including your lab works and things. So by the time you start bringing things that are not feasible, they will recommend that you are not actually, you might be a good candidate, but your work is not actually in the field or in line with what they want. So what is the tip? In just summary, you just have to follow the energy news and some sector challenges. something as simple as using your social media, maybe your Twitter, all of this. Just click on those accounts. Maybe you'll be seeing their messages popping. So you just read. Nothing, don't be too worried about it. So what are the things? Another thing is your dressing. So you can dress formally and you can also dress in native attire, but also be respectful. Things that will not make you look very odd or to show your part of your body, things like that. And when you are talking, you have to speak clearly and confidently. And confidently doesn't mean in the sense that you have to speak very boastful or disrespectful way. And you have to also maintain eye contact and posture. This is just to show that you are very observant of what is happening and you can see their demeanor. And why I brought this particularly, it happened to me. I was talking, when I was talking, then I realized I started messing up. So the thing is, remember, it's an interview, it's a two-way communication. Don't just be the one talking fully that you are going to lose out. So in case you don't know something and you see the panel, this it, don't be too hesitant. Just tell them you don't know, or just ask them, or just keep quiet. Just be very mindful of what you are doing. So you can just the tip in summary is just practice, practice. Maybe a day or 3 days before the interview, you can even record with your computer or something. Or use these days you have all these things. What do they call them? Uh, this thing with TikTok, I don't know. These standing cameras and all of that. So just record yourself and view yourself. So, and now, why are they investing in you? So remember, sometimes people tend to, maybe their cost is too expensive and all of that. Maybe they already have, maybe they started maybe a year or two, or they even have admission and all of that. So all of this shows how ready you are and your zeal. So they also give partial scholarship. It means you have taken some time with your studies, you just need support to finish it. So just take note of this. So you all know yourselves. If you have such, don't hide it. You can always bring it up. And then think of the gaps you can fill in Nigeria. They know they are sponsoring you. So think of the things where you are going to place yourself. Just an advice. So the main thing here is Japa. A lot of people will go and be thinking of, I want to leave, I want to leave. Just look at it. What do you want to invest back in your country? If they just see you are going to Japan, then they are not going to invest their money in you. So just look at yourself and then advise yourself and then come up with something that you know you are not actually leaving, but you are going to help your country. So other things that I would say, be honest and passionate. So you have to acknowledge yourself on your work and weaknesses. You have to show your interest. And then the final thing is review your applications and then understand the goals of PTDF, do mock interviews. And remember, you have to sleep well the night before because you have to leave very early. My interview, I think it was slated for, is it 9 or so? I left the house around 6, but my interview did not formally start till around 3 o'clock because of the volume of people. So if you say you're going to keep stressing yourself the night before, you might end up going to sleep or dizzy or disoriented, a lot of things. And tip one here is carry your original documents because if you carry the photocopies alone, trust me, you're not going to scale through. And again, carry documents that you feel they are going to support your application. For example, membership. Like in my own case, I was only able to upload one of my publications, but I have over 7. By the time I went to the place, I showed them that I have additional publications. This is my national award. This is my this. It all added to my points. So just look at yourself. Things like national awards, some specific awards, some professional memberships. Just carry them. Don't keep them aside. So even if you do not upload it, just carry a copy. It can add you points, which you never can tell. So I think I'm wishing you every success. And remember, you don't need to be perfect, just be prepared. And most importantly, I will tell you good luck, manage your expectations. Once you do it, continue with your life because all of them might not tell you here part of the scholars, but some have applied more than once, like myself. I got it on the second trial, some more than that. So just manage your expectations. That's my own advice. I think I will be still here.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Musa. Yeah, the truth is, many of us actually applied more than once. And fortunately for me, I applied twice and I got it twice. I got the MSc and I got the PhD as well. But I want you to take something from what Dr. Musa has just said. Please always try to put your best leg forward. And I'll give you a story from my own experience also. When I was at the interview for my PhD, I I'm a civil engineering person and I'm more into concrete. And looking at the oil and gas sector, how do you intend to incorporate concrete into the oil and gas sector operations? So what I did was to develop a proposal that says smart concrete application in offshore facilities. So when I got to the interviewers, they were so much concerned about the concept of smart concrete. And that actually what made us to keep talking and all that. So please don't say because it's oil and gas and you want to move from your own field to something that you're not so conversant with. Stay within your field, find something that you can discuss very well, and just try to build on it. So Dr. Suleiman, are you with us? Dr. Suleiman?
I'm okay.
All right, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abiola, for this wonderful initiative. Of course, I expect that from you because you have actually displayed that character during the time as the secretary of this great association. Really appreciate your efforts, and we pray that God crown all your efforts ahead. So, hope you can hear me. Sorry.
Yes, you're audible, sir.
First, I want to congratulate every one of us, those who have gotten the email, and I pray that every one of us who have gotten this email will become part of us very soon. I think everybody has spoken what is, of course, necessary to hear. The most important thing is this. We are going there to meet human beings like us because most of us are very, very brilliant. Like I used to say, there's nobody who applied for PTDF that doesn't deserve to get it. Of course, it shows we are actually up to the task, but most of us, the issue we have is the way when we come to meet human beings like us, something you get to know very well, you begin to fidget. So I advise people who are going for this kind of interview, you have to first of all free your mind. That's the most important thing. When you are going there, be free. Just go like you are definitely going to meet a colleague of yours. They are also human beings like you. In my own case, it's just fortunate. Once I applied and once I get it. But I want you to understand something, that the first thing, I think my experience, it was in Abuja. My proposer, I would like to share this, that my proposer, if I tell you my proposer was actually different from what I presented. Reason being this, when I prepared my proposal, it was very, very technical. Of course, I'm going to apply for a PhD scholarship. I have to prepare something technical because I believe I'm meeting academics. To my greatest surprise, when I get to Abuja, I discovered the people who were going to interview me were not professors like I thought. So that situation, I had to change my method of presentation because I know that if I present exactly what is in my proposal, they may not get it clearly, even if it sounds good, but they may not understand it. So I have to present it in a layman language. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that you have to, when you get there, you have to look at your interviewer. That will determine how you respond to the interview. And secondly, the way you are dressed is also the way you're going to be addressed. The second speaker, have said much. When I got there, actually, they said this person doesn't look hungry because of the way I'm dressed. Why did they use that language? You may dress somehow and look like, oh, this person, since if we give him even part of the scholarship, he will decide to run away and will never come back to Nigeria. You understand that? So they have to see that, yes, you have a purpose of coming for the scholarship. And lastly, I will want to encourage every one of us that whatever credentials you have, even if you have submitted what they asked you to submit initially, you have them with you. Please go with the extra ones you have. I could remember very well. Yes, I have a lot of publications, even if they are not Scopus Index, but they didn't ask for that during uploading of documents. Although I went with the one I uploaded, but I went with the one I didn't even upload. And membership, conference papers, in fact, my experience with a lady while I was sitting next to was like, this one you came with all this. Are you sure you're not going to take everything from us? Because you have already taken the kind of document you are coming with us, almost filling your bag. Yeah, and truly, that is what they want to see. They want to see how serious you are. They asked for the documents that I uploaded. I gave them that. And I also had the courage to tell them that I have extras. So, and they were like, okay, let's see them. So they went, they saw it, and they were impressed. But the courage, the presentation, like I said, was actually different because it was a layman. I actually studied physics. My intention was to talk about renewable energy in the oil and gas sector. And when I discovered that we were talking about solar energy, standalone installation of panel, which I know it was not actually, so I have to, follow them in that direction. And I discussed with them like somebody asking me that how many panel will be enough um, to power a house, number of battery, which was completely different from what you expect in the oil and gas sector. And you have to be prepared. Like this first speaker said, you have to always be prepared. So this is it. Please have the courage. I believe every one of us here, we can do it. It is not something difficult. And I hope that you join us soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Suleiman. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And he emphasized a lot about understanding what you want to um, present, and also you must be prepared for unforeseen circumstances. There are times in which you're trying to drive a point and the person is not getting you in detail. You need to be able to break it down at least in a layman's way. Going back to my Ibadan experience, I was talking about smart concrete. The first question they asked was, how can concrete be smart? So I need to explain to them, okay, this is the concept and all that. And the moment they were nodding their heads, I knew I was getting along with them. So it's very important. It's very important. Now, I'm not sure if Dr. Sani is with us. Dr. Sani, are you with us?
Yeah, Dr. Abiola, very sorry
Oh,
for
thank you so much.
I
Thank
thought
you so
it
much.
is supposed to be nine,
Oh, sorry.
nine. Yeah, so I just realized that it is eight to nine, as you said. Very
Good to have
sorry.
you, sir. Good to have you, sir.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Over to you, sir. Just your experience and words of encouragement for the applicants.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Abiola, for the invitation to join PTDF scholars and prospective, or what do I call it? Potential PhD scholars, hopefully, inshallah. So this is a nice effort by you and other organizers for letting us share our experience with the applicants or with the shortlisted candidates based on our experience. I think you have said it all probably because I joined late. So, but I think all the talk will revolve around individual experience with the PTDF. In my own case, I think I will advise the scholars in the first place to ensure that even though they have submitted their proposals earlier, but it's not late. Even though when you enter the interview room, they already have in most cases, they have your proposal, which you have already uploaded during your application. But sometimes you can make some changes because you may explore some additional ideas which you did not presented when you were applying. So it's not late. I think you can include those very fine ideas because normally they will give you time, maybe 5 minutes to present your proposal. So you should try as much as possible to mention those important things which you think, because some of them will even tell us why you should be selected for this scholarship. So that is to tell them your proposal for the PhD candidates. For the master's candidates, your statement of purpose, how good is it? So for the PhD applicants, try as much as possible to go straight to the point because you have very limited time. There are many applicants, and don't be too technical because sometimes in the panel, it's not all the panel members that are from your own field of studies. You may be from a civil engineering background, and some of the panel members might be from chemical, mechanical, and other fields. So if you try to be too technical, they may not understand what you are proposing, and then you will lose marks. For your information, this scholarship is very competitive, as you know, and you almost get same marks in some of the criteria for the selection, like in certificates. If you have first class, others have first class, so you score the same mark. Okay, you have number of publications. I don't know the rubrics now, but assuming the score candidate based on publications, based on class of degree, for bachelor, if you have first class, this is the mark. If you have masters, you have distinction, this is the mark. All those candidates that have similar qualification as you, first class, distinction, they will score the same as you. Publication minimum, assuming they need, let's say, 2 publications, and each has this score. So all the candidates that have this will score the same mark. So how do you distinguish yourself? Is in the proposal. This proposal, as you know, is what will make you to stand out from all other candidates from your own state of origin, because at the end of the day, they select, maybe they want to award 2 scholarships to the states or 3. They select the top 3, and a difference of 0.5 mark, 0.4 is also a difference. So you should try as much as possible to score the highest mark in the proposal. Assuming 20 marks is allocated for the proposal, your preparation should be more on how do you get all the 20 marks? How do you get 19? How do you get 19.5? How do you get all the marks? because all other scholars will score the same as you when they have, the same qualifications as you. So that's my emphasis on the proposal. Try as much as possible to make it not in a too technical. Yes, you wrote it. You have written the proposal in a technical terms, but when you come to explain, the aim is to be able to convince the panel members, even a layman. You should be able to convince him that this is what you are going to do. This is your contribution to the national development for Nigeria and to the oil and gas sector. This is what you are going to contribute. Let them clearly see what you are actually proposing. So that's my point, Dr. Abiola, in the first place. For the PhD candidates, try as much as possible and don't argue with them. Don't argue with the panel members. When you are presenting, some of them may ask you some questions in order to help you. Maybe they may ask you after you presented, they may ask you some questions so that when you clarify, as Dr. Abiola just mentioned, maybe the answer you are going to give them will make them to be convinced, and then you get the marks that is required. So overall, what I'm trying to mention here is that the proposal is what will distinguish you from other scholars, and try to convince them in a very good way. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Sonny. Dr. Sonny is one of our outstanding scholars. He proved himself beyond a reasonable doubt while he was here with us in UTP. Thank you for joining us, sir. And it's worth also noting that he is now a lecturer at the university as well. So that's what PTDF can do for you. And you also need to put in your own best foot also. I think it's now time for questions from the prospective awardees. Yeah, prospective awardees. So if you have a question, you could just switch on your mic and ask your questions. I've been trying to answer some questions in the chat section, but if you have a question you'd like to make public, please just go ahead and let's look at it together. Thank you. Yeah, remember what Laju said. One of the things they would ask you is, do you have a question for me? So you should be at least bold enough to ask questions. Anybody?
Good afternoon.
All right.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk here. I'm really glad to be part of this platform, right, where you have shared some insightful tips about acing the PTDF interview. So my question is, we all know that each state has a particular number of slots, right,
Yeah.
for the candidates. So my question goes in this regard: does PTDF prioritize certain courses when selecting the candidates who will eventually win the scholarship? Is preference given to certain courses, or is just basically the highest scoring candidates from each state?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, based on my own experience, it's usually the highest scoring candidate. However, I think they used to give a privilege to those who are from the oil extracting regions. So that I can see. But basically, it's always first the high scoring candidates, then they give a privilege to those who are from the oil extracting region. So that's that. I hope that answers your question. Abib Rashid, your hand is up. You can please make your question known. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to ask about the possibility, and thanks to the organizers of this program. I want to ask for the possibility of holding an online interview, because I got shortlisted, but at the moment I'm out of the country. I went for something very important for a family thing. So I mailed them last week. I've not gotten anything from them, and bearing in mind the proximity of the interview, I will not be able to, because my flight is not booked for July. So I wanted to be I want to be sure, because I sent an email to them since last week as soon as I got the invite, and I'm yet to get any from them. So I just want to check, going by last year or previous interviews, were there online interviews, but if there are none, then I think I'll have to just move on and hope for next year.
Oh, okay. Dr. Musa, do you want to answer that?
Okay, I think there should be provision for that, but I don't really know the procedures. I think if there's any member here can tell us more about that.
Okay, yeah, last year and even the previous ones, we've had applicants doing their interviews online. I was very involved for the one we did last year, because we actually had to collate the names of some of our friends and colleagues here, and we sent it to the towers. And actually, they were so nice enough to have honored our request. For this year, I think they are a bit reluctant in doing something like that. But what I would advise is that just keep sending your mails. At some point, they would respond to you. Dr. Kazim, you want to add to that?
Okay, sorry, let me add to that.
Okay.
Currently, I believe those people, because there has been a Google form that's been passed. I don't know if the questioner has filled his name in that Google form. We, through the secretary, I have asked him to collate the names of all those who got the interview message. So fortunately, we have about 32 people across Malaysia, 32 applicants across Malaysia. And so I have forwarded the lists, because I had to call the desk officer today. I contacted him, but currently is out of the country, although we spoke briefly, and they said, okay, by Wednesday, maybe in 2 days' time, 3 days' time, we are going to talk at length concerning this particular issue. And we want to see the possibility of having a virtual interview for anybody who is not in Nigeria. And I hope that we'll definitely be able to achieve that. So by Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be able to give feedback through the secretary. And perhaps you get the information. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, so, I got this link, the link to the meeting through a friend on WhatsApp. I'm not on any group. I don't know, like, my name is not, I didn't register, I didn't fill any form. Like, how do I join the group and stuff like that?
Okay. Sorry. What you are going to do is this. Maybe Dr. Abiola, please use your platform. Put the contact of Dr. Tonyi.
Okay.
So they contact him directly. Just send a message to him concerning this. So he's going to send you that link. You can fill your name. Thank you.
I will drop Dr. Tonyi's contact in the chat box, so you can easily just contact him. All right.
Okay, maybe I will also send the link to you, Secretary.
Okay.
Dr. Abiola, I may send the link to you. You can upload it on your platform. Thank you.
All right. All right. So there's someone raising up. Please, you can ask your question. I'm trying to search for Dr. Tony's contact.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for this opportunity. I'm glad to be here. My first question is that for some of us that are recent graduates and we don't really have a lot of field experiences like that, how do we navigate that during this interview process?
All right. If you are a fresh graduate, you can as well get it. As a matter of fact, we have a lot of fresh graduates also here who just finished their what's it called, NYSC. They applied and they got it. I think everything boils down to how you present your proposal, how you defend your proposal. And even if you're a fresh graduate, you must have acquired some maybe certifications, some experience. So those are the things that those are the things that you should dwell more on. Okay. And you should try as much as possible to convince them that okay, what you intend doing is worth doing. So for a fresh graduate, you can always get it as long as you're able to convince the interviewers. I don't know if maybe Laju can help us with this. Just to, are you still there, Laju?
Oh, sorry, I missed that question. Please, can you help me with it again?
Yeah, the question is about the possibility of fresh graduates getting the scholarship.
Okay, I believe that's possible. I think during your time in the university, you must have been part of an association. If you have some leadership skills, you volunteered to some organizations, settle down and try to pick up the valuable skills you gained from those experiences, right? Um, I don't know, for fresh graduates, you must have been part of something in school, like extracurricular activities. Even though you don't have professional experience, you can try to build on that. Try to use higher taxonomy languages that can improve the impact of what you have done. So instead of saying, I did X, Y, Z, you can say, I evaluated, I consolidated. That's a way to build up whatever you did. I hope this helps with your question.
Oh, thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, we are running out of time now. I'll just take, okay, Dr. Musa, do you want to add to that?
Yes, I think just to add on to what all of you have said, I think some things you maybe from your own school, maybe some certificates, some awards. So don't underestimate them. So just carry them along. So don't leave them behind. That's what I would just add to it.
Okay, okay, thank you so much, Dr. Musa. Abbasio Fund, sorry, did I get it right? Abbasio Fund.
Abasiofo,
Oh,
thank you very
Abbasio
much. Good
Fund, yeah,
afternoon.
sorry, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so my question is very straight. So still on the experience thing, is experience in the oil and gas and energy sector a requirement? For me, I finished this last year, and I've not really been gainfully employed between that last year and this year. So I kind of like have a 1 year gap. So does it? I mean, if they tell me are you currently working? No. From dating now, although I mean I've been doing some skill self-development in data and all of that. So I don't know if that is a problem.
It's not a problem. Just try to focus on your strengths. From what you have said now, you're working with data and all that. So try to find a way of tailoring your statement of purpose towards how you can use data to improve the operations in the oil and gas sector. So I think if you can do that and you can come up with meaningful discussions, they could actually consider. So I think that is, yeah, that could
Okay,
fly as
thank you
well.
very much.
All right.
Sorry, my second question is actually on this list I just saw. PTDF scholars in Malaysia for conducted for Nigerians in Malaysia. Currently, I'm not in Nigeria, but I'm not also in Malaysia. So I don't know if I can still send my name as well. I also sent them a mail, but I did not get a reply, and I was trying to make arrangements to come into Nigeria. But at the moment, I still have not gotten my ticket. So I don't know if I can still send my name through the link as well.
Please do, please do, please do. I don't think the link discriminates in any way. It's just for people to have access to the virtual interview. So regardless of where you are, it was just an initiative by the Malaysian scholars. So it's not as if it's limited to those in Malaysia. Just try to use the link and put in your contact details so that you can always get across to them. I don't know if there are other questions.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I really want to appreciate our panelists. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you, sir, for the organizers. So I have some questions here. And so as for someone who is going into the master's category, putting in for the master's category, and I'll have to pitch my statement of purpose, and I talk offering solutions to it. Am I to talk about the solutions, or I'm just to talk about the problems and how my study is going to solve that or be a contributor to solving that problem? That's the first thing. Now, secondly, also, I have a journal. Yeah, but the journal is not in line with what I am pitching together with my statement of purpose. The area of the study I'm going in for, although it's related, it's around environmental sustainability and reducing, just helping the environment. So is it still okay if I still bring forth that or present that journal, even though it is not in line with what I am applying for? And also, I'm currently putting in for a master. So if I am asked directly, or if I am asked that, what am I doing now? Will it be okay for me to tell them, okay, I'm currently having my master's program in so university? And so won't it send a message that, okay, so why do you still want to go for master's? So those are my questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me address the last one. Then maybe one of the panelists could help us with the other two. I would advise you to be silent on your recent master's course, because if you go through the rules, ideally you shouldn't apply if you have a degree that is close to what you're applying for. So as much as possible, try to be silent on that. And about the issue of publication, even though it's not related to what you have written, please take it along. You know, like a Dr. Sani said, it's a point-based system. So the moment they see that journal, whether it's related or not, doesn't count. It gives you a point. So please go with it. Then the first question again, could you please repeat it?
Okay, as for someone putting in for the master's category, do I have to talk about the solutions, that how I'm trying to implement my solutions, or do I have to talk about the solutions to the oil and gas problem I am intending my study was going to solve, or that's not really my concern, or that's just particular to the PhD category?
Anybody to help us? Dr. Sani, are you still there?
Okay, Dr. Abiola, thank you.
Yeah, all right.
I think regarding for the masters, I think their own is very much easier, because most of the masters, I think they have stopped the research-based masters from some of the the candidates they sent here to UTP sometimes ago. So I think all the master's degree they award now is coursework based or mixed mode. So you are not going into detail, I think, in the statement of purpose on because you are not doing more of your research is not you just have some elements, some research in the mixed mode or in the coursework during your project or research. Yeah, in the mixed mode they have research for maybe 2 semesters, or projects for 2 semesters. So that's when you will do the research, unlike the PhD, which is purely research based. So in the statement of purpose, you are trying to justify why you need to be sponsored to obtain a master's degree in your choosing field. So you will relate that to the significance of the field in oil and gas. Actually, after the master's, you are not a researcher per se, but the knowledge you acquired will be useful, maybe by contributing to the oil and gas industries in Nigeria, and for the development of the oil and gas sector in Nigeria. So you are just, in summary, you are just trying to relate why you should be sponsored by PTDF to study that, and its significance to oil and gas. I think that's my understanding on that.
Yeah, doctor, you're very right. I think that's the scope. It's basically just trying to convince them on why you should take this study, and what are the things you stand to gain by taking this study. So it's 9:02 here, and I believe it's about maybe 2:02 also in Nigeria. We'll just take one question. just to add to that, the link to this, I've recorded this session. So for those who didn't start with us, you can easily grab the video on my LinkedIn platform. So you haven't lost anything. So, and the transcript also will be available. Paul Owoicho, are you there?
Yeah, good afternoon.
All right, please just.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Doctor, for this opportunity and for the clarity you brought to us on this interview process. I just have one question, and I want to ask for those applying for masters, is there a possibility to apply for a particular school through the scholarship, through the PTDF platform, and then you are now finally shortlisted and given scholarship from PTDF, and not being able to secure admission in that particular school you applied for? So could there be a scenario like that? And what can we do to rectify it? Thank you, sir.
Sorry, if I understand you clearly, have you secured the admission?
No, I'm just asking because since we did not apply to the school directly, like, or would you advise that after we've applied for this PTDF scholarship that we still apply to the school so that we don't get to miss the admission deadline for the various schools when we will now be awarded the scholarship?
Okay, let me answer this the way I understand it. Actually, PTDF has a lot of partner schools in UK, in France, in Germany, in Malaysia. So, and they also have the opportunity for you to defer your what's it called, scholarship by, I think, maybe one session or two sessions thereabout. So if you happen to fall maybe in that case whereby the school you're up to, maybe they are not in the current admission session. So you have that opportunity to wait till next year and your scholarship will still be valid. So in a nutshell, you can always have other options, as much options as possible. So that's the way I would answer that. I hope that clears the air on that.
Very well, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. All right. So I think that will be the last question for tonight. And I want to take this opportunity to just appreciate our panelists for finding time out of their busy schedule to discuss with us. And these are some of the tips that I would advise that we go through. And I think most of my colleagues tonight, they've actually emphasized some of this. And so I wouldn't want to waste much time on that. So once again, I want to say thank you for coming out
Doctor,
to
please.
at least. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I would like to ask, please, in a scenario whereby the interviewers the panel made it in a way that is more or less like an informal conversation. They didn't even ask you to bring your publication, your award, or membership certificate. If they don't ask, how do you think you can politely, ask them to check or present it to them, please?
I think it depends on the tone of a discussion. Depends on the tone of discussion. So, and I think anyone that is um, smart to some extent can always find a way to chip that into your discussion. Let me give you an example. When I did mine, the interviewer, one of them was looking at my what's it called, O-level results, and he was really surprised that he said my O-levels I had all C's. How come I'm now having presenting a first class result on that? So, but the way he was discussing, I got the message. So what I just did was to tell him that, I had some issues back then, and all that. And after my secondary school, I, made some commitment to be a better student and all that. And because of this, I've been able to do all this. So I think if you find yourself in that situation, you can find a way to, intelligently just push those things in, and it would fly. So that's the way I think you can do it. So I think that's that about that. So
It's one question, sir. Please,
uh
it's just a simple question. I have the manuscript. It has been submitted for peer review. And that's the document I submitted during the online application form. Is it valid as a journal, or I should not take it along?
if it was submitted for peer review, it's under review, right?
Yes.
Yeah, what I would just advise is find a way to more like scribble that into your CV as journal submitted to what's called manuscript submitted to a journal. So that would show that okay, you have some experience in writing and all that. So I think that's the best. Yeah. So once again, thank you very much for coming out. And I want to wish everyone a very successful interview. And I think it was Laju that mentioned it. In everything that we do, always remember that the God factor is always there. The God factor is always there. I've had people who went for the interview and they didn't even ask them anything about their profession. It was just, informal discussions, and they ended up getting it. Meanwhile, some persons were, thoroughly technical and they still didn't get it. So, in all, I just want to say, just remember the God factor in everything that we do. So, thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening in Malaysia and a wonderful afternoon in Nigeria. So I will share the video link on my LinkedIn page. Thank you for coming. Bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Dr. Abiola.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for joining.